Our man Eliza concerned, man, we out here front line, front and center. Brother just said they had 2 overdoses out here. I asked him, do you think something like this is needed in the community? He said yes, man. He said it's needed. He said it's definitely needed, man. They appreciate our presence. Just to be able to give out the Narcan, it could help. He said, man, it could have saved my life yesterday.
A lot of these homeless people out here,
yes.
You can put some food on their stomach to keep them from putting drugs in their system. You know, because the drugs take their appetite. You know, and if you can give them some food, that'll keep them from putting drugs in their system. Because a lot of them don't eat.
That's right, brother. Hey, look, man, look.
That's why they OD a lot of times.
All we got to do is listen to the people. They're going to tell us how to lead, man. Yeah. They're going to tell us how to serve the community, man. The people going to let you know. You heard what the brother said, man. This is a highly appreciated, very effective method to reaching the people. Man, ain't nobody trying to listen to you if they're hungry. But you make you feed them, man, you might get a little bit of their time, man. So that's what it's all about, man. Doing the work. Lines of concern, man. DC Engage. Yes, sir. Just doing the work. Doing what we come to do. Partner with the Pilgrim Outreach. Good brother came out. Brother Linwood come out. Talk to the people about outpatient help. Man, that's it, man. That's what we come to do. Your lines of concern, man, are looking to partner with you if you're trying to do the work. If you're trying to do the work, man, come see us. We out here on the front line. We out here on the front line doing the work. Partner with an organization. We about to partner with another organization. Shout out to RAP. We will be reaching out, letting you know when you can come on site and just talk about your program. Yes, sir. And just talk about it.
Good afternoon. That was Alliance of Concerned Men Engaging. That's what we call engaging. So how was the morning sessions? How was the morning sessions? Cool. Now y'all know I'm gonna make y'all do a little work out here. We're gonna change this up a little bit for, what are our 3 words? All right, we're gonna split you up. These are my engaged folks over here. These are my promote folks over here. And these are my reduce folks over here. We're gonna see who got the loudest and the proudest. So on the count of 3, I wanna hear from this side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Say it all together, whatever your word is. 1, 2, 3. All right. Welcome back, y'all. Hope you had a great morning. Which side won? You know which side won? You all did. That's a good answer. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. I want to, as the afternoon go on, this is not a one-man show. The DC Engage team is full of dynamic folks who help us do the work. Right now, I want to introduce our manager, DC Engage, is Corey Howell. He's my right-hand hand, along with Henry, who is in the back, who you'll meet later. But for right now, I want to introduce you to Corey Howell.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. We hope you're enjoying the conference so far. So it is my pleasure to start off this lunch plenary session. And we're going to start this off with a short dramatic production. And I just want to introduce the gentleman that we have from Caged Birds Productions. So Anthony Green, writer-director, is the founder of Caged Birds Productions. He's originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but lives in Washington, D.C. His debut book, Black Gay Stories Matter, is available on Amazon. He has fellowships with Lambda Literary, Mario Bowser's 202 Creates, and NASDAD's Minority Leadership Program. His hit play, When Boys Exhale, has sold out in both Atlanta and DC and will debut in Nashville this December. And so we'll have two actors a part of this production, Antoine Pollard. Antoine Pollard was born and raised in Prince George's County, Maryland. He has acted in various films and even a scripted reality series. His passion is serving the community through his work at the nonprofit organization Us Helping Us, where he provides testing for HIV, STIs, PrEP, and other services. He loves telling stories that combine his love for community and his gift for acting. And last but not least, we have Michael Weaver Jr. Michael is an actor, model, and influencer born in Dayton, Ohio, and based in Washington, D.C. His film credits include Queenie and the Pro Se Litigator, Gang Leader in Angel of Hope, written and directed by 28-time Emmy-winning writer, producer, and director Alfonso Wesson. These credits include dance ensemble member in Disney's Beauty and the Beast, and Cinderella-bration, and Tyrone Jackson in Fame, the musical. And so it is my pleasure to give the stage to Cage Birds Productions at this time.
Hello, how are y'all doing? So my name is Anthony Green. I am a writer-director, but also the founder of Cage Birds Productions. So at Cage Birds Productions, we affirm the Black queer lived experience on stage and on screen. The vision is this for us, by us approach where Black queer creatives work together to tell our stories. And since our shows are usually this full of community, we strive to always have some type of public health messaging in our shows. We just had our When Boys Exhale show, which was a male version of Waiting to Exhale, and it featured some really strong HIV storylines. So we wanted to make sure that not only were we delivering a funny and engaging show, but also providing access to the resources in our community for anybody who was affected by HIV or wanted to get more information, wanted to get tested, wanted to get on PrEP, all that good stuff. And now we have our eyes set on doing a show around addiction in the Black queer community. And that is this short skit that you guys are going to see. It is a work in progress as we're getting towards doing a larger full show next year. So if you guys like it, do me a favor and like us on Facebook at Cage Birds Productions or follow us on Instagram at Cage Birds Productions. Other than that, y'all enjoy our skit.
Damn! They want my income, sexual history, and blood type? Baby, these forms are nosier than the Wendy Williams interview. Oh, you ain't talking to me? That's fine. The silent treatment is much more peaceful than your nagging anyway.
Well, if it prevents you from getting any kind of please let me speak up.
You've made your point. You're unhappy. This entire clinic gets that you're unhappy. Now stop before you scare these good old white folks up in here. Hello, how are you today?
I don't give a damn about these people in here. Who gonna check me, boo?
Probably security. Look, I am literally doing this for you.
How romantic. Most men get their husbands flowers or candy or invite a piece of trade over for a threesome on the weekend. Whew. But I get to sign you up for rehab.
I don't want to be here either. Say the word, we go home. I can still make it in time to see today's episode of The View.
Well, those squabbling heifers will have to wait. The only hot topic that I'm interested in is that the man that I love nearly died last night.
Don't be dramatic.
I found you unconscious, surrounded by methamphetamines. You overdosed.
Says you? You ain't got nobody's medical degree?
Well, when you did wake up, You refuse to allow me to call the ambulance. So I guess that my medical assessment will have to do.
Yet, you still force me to be here. Baby, what's our Blue Cross Blue Shield number?
I believe the words you're looking for are thank you for always caring about me. Sometimes more than I care for myself.
Or how about thank you for overreacting and sobbing like Viola Davis until I agreed to check myself in?
You petty.
We don't want people in our business. I work with people that serve on the board of this place. One messy queen in admissions, and my tea is spilled all over the city.
Honey, you're covered by HIPAA. Besides, you run a local nonprofit. Ain't nobody here to see you, Otis. And I doubt that the paparazzi over there hiding behind that stack of outdated magazines.
It's embarrassing. At my organization, we coordinate needle exchanges and pass out Narcan. I can't have anybody in here looking at me like this. Looking like Andrew Gillum.
It's humbling. Yes, you're familiar with the stigma and the dangers, but that does not make you immune to the same shit that's making our community vulnerable. Needing help is not something to be ashamed of. It's this isolation and the shame that's killing us. Addiction is real for a lot of black gay men.
Hey, don't use that word. I make over 6 figures, drive a Lexus, and own property in gentrified DC. You better put some respect on my name. Now, I may like to party and play from time to time, but I work hard to keep my shit together.
We get it. You love Tina and you got a little bit of money in the bank. But the only reason you're able to present this illusion of being a functioning addict is by the grace of me.
Oh, yeah?
I'm the one making excuses for you when you're crashing from tweaking, missing grant deadlines because your brain is so much in a fog, or dipping into my own personal savings so that we can make payroll.
This is starting to sound very similar to the intervention you gave me this morning. I'm not in the mood to hear the sequel.
In the beginning, I thought maybe he just uses it for sex. Eventually, I overlooked so much that I couldn't truly see you anymore.
Baby.
And then when I found you on the floor, I'm ashamed to admit that the worst part of me took longer than I should have to help you.
Wait, what?
I thought about how much easier life would have been. Death would have relieved you from all this pain that makes you put this poison into your body, and I no longer would feel like I'm not enough.
No. I'm sure finding me like that wasn't fun, and I'm sorry for putting you in that position. I took too much.
But you know my backstory. I grew up watching my dad give my mother chance after chance while crack was the only thing she cared about. Real love could not have been that foolish. Constantly allowing mama to back in the house even when she became violent or would steal. How the hell did I end up just like him? Back in the attic to choose me over their fix. I can't do this.
Don't compare the two. Last night was a mistake. I promise it won't happen again. I'll lower my dosage. You know me. This stuff don't control my life, but I do need it. Like you need your glass of wine at the end of the night. Or some folks need a joint.
Nobody can make a hollow promise sound more beautiful than an addict. The worst part of anything self-destructive is that it becomes so intimate. You become so close to your addiction that leaving it behind is like killing that very part of you that taught you how to survive.
Man, you all want me to be so perfect. Lead when I have no blueprint, be the voice of the community, manage my own trauma, save the world, and still give you the pipe every night.
I can't passively watch you kill yourself. That's all that I'm saying. You have got to put some of this weight down before it crushes you. Well, except the pipe, 'cause that's not negotiable.
Shut up. Make me laugh. Yes. Probably rely on you too much. But you're my husband. The one place I'm able to lay all my ugly on and still be loved.
Look, I can't make you stay here. Yes, I'm pushy, but you're a grown man, and this is only gonna work if you want it to. I'll take care of everything else out here in the meantime until you get better.
No. I'll stay. Even if I can handle it, I don't want to see you hurt. I love you because you push me to be the best version of myself. Even when you nag. But I know it's because you see greatness in me. The only reason I'm able to fly is because you believe in. If you don't believe anymore.
Baby, I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you, Cage Bird. We really appreciate you. And one of the evaluations, I'm just going to halfway quote it, but it says we're everywhere. You know, it's in all of our communities, and the way that we deal with it, the way that we talk about it, the language we use may be different. But it's all of us, and it's all of us have a story to tell. And so I appreciate you all telling your story from your perspective. And we're going to hear the stories of our micro-grantees or our partners and how they do their work. So if you're one of our partners, I would like you to make your way to the stage so we can hear what's going on. We called this taking this to the street. You saw the video, engaging with folks on the street, doing the work. I call it boots on the ground. So if you're one of our micro-grantees, make your way up to the top, to the stage, as quickly as possible.
Musical chairs.
There you go. There's a stool too. There's stools over there. Stand behind you. There's a stool right there coming too.
Here's another thing. I'll take the stool. Oh, all right. I stand. Go ahead.
No insurance, though, man. All right. We're good. Oh, they get mics. Where's the other mic? Where's the other one? There's one mic. Y'all shut out. So these are our partners in love, our partners in the work that we do. We have bios for them, but I'm going to let them tell you what they do because it wouldn't be fair for me to read off something because they do the work. So I'm going to start at my far left. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. I'm going to also ask you to talk about the folks you work with, and I use the word folks affectionately. The folks that you work with, and tell us what's unique about the folks that you work with. Daryl?
Hello. Hi, my name is Daryl Moak. I am with Innergy, Inc., formerly Innerlight Incorporated, also associated with Innerlight Ministries still. And our work in community, we are primarily working in Southeast DC and Northeast DC although we have folks that will come from across the district from time to time. We have, with this particular grant and this work we've been doing, we continue to do our HIV-related outreach, but particularly we've enhanced our work around mental health and substance use, giving out Narcan, doing Narcan trainings, as well as making sure that folks are becoming more aware of how to protect themselves and take care of themselves, destigmatizing mental health and substance use issues so that we can create a system where people feel comfortable about being who they are. We have been doing a podcast that started in our last cycle, and it's still growing. So some of the challenges are for those of us that are crossing generational divides. The challenges are being able to meet that kind of connection. But we've been doing a podcast that is bringing everyday people to the situation, sharing their real story, real stories, real situations, real solutions. And so we've been moving in that direction. It's been really powerful. What's been unique in terms of this community is that part of the community we've been working with this year have been some of the communities that are the least heard of, the least connected, the least resourced, the least supported. And so they have really appreciated being able to tell their stories. They've appreciated us being in the community to get them the things that they need, so much so that they're asking for more stuff like CPR and first aid classes and other stuff that I happen to be able to also give them. So it's been a really, really great opportunity to then also use some of our grant funding to provide stipends for people in the community who've been doing this work for free. And so now they can actually do some of this work and get some stipend for that work to help their families. So we're really proud of that work. And some of my other staff folks are here as well. Tawana, our social worker, who is our volunteer social worker on staff, she also works for Hillcrest. So she's here, and so we're glad that, we're grateful for the opportunity to continue to do the work in community.
Hello, everybody. My name is Edward Hardy. I'm with Far Southeast Family Strengthening Collaborative. We're a collaborative. We've been around for over 25 years, providing family service for residents primarily in Ward 8, Southeast DC. I'm a Washingtonian native, Southeast native, so the work we do there is really impactful to me, and it's really a blessing to be able to go in the community and knowing where we come from and being able to provide a resource to get people out of the things that they're dealing with. Our harm reduction program is moving right along. It's a great program. We're out there 2 times a week. We try to hit, we actually do work in 4, 5, and 7 with our harm reduction program, so we're all over the city. Our Far Southeast Community Engagement team is here. As you can see, we got on our blue representing. We deal with individuals right where they are, as the guy said before. Yeah, that's what we do. We go straight to where they are. We will provide them with resource information. We give out kits, that's whether it's home COVID kits, first aid kits, condoms, Band-Aid, everything we think that they need out there other than just hand sanitizers and stuff like that. Because people find ways to give away little trinkets and stuff, but people really need help out there. So we're building relationships as we out there as well. So we kind of make sure we target those same areas every other week. We, like I said, we go twice a week, so we try to hit 2 wards twice a week. It's a lot going on out there. It's a lot of help that's needed. Mental health is really the deep-rooted issue that needs to be addressed with substance abuse. And it's something that we got to really fight on consistently. And that's Far Southeast.
Good afternoon. I'm George Kerr, and I am the project director for harm reduction at Westminster. Westminster Presbyterian Church down in Southwest has been doing harm reduction education and work since 2005. And we've really been a key element down there talking to individuals. In January, I was called to the scene when we had 10 people overdose, and it was devastating. We were able to call a community conversation together at my church on March 9th, where we had almost 30 people show up, and we come up with some ideas on how we can address this issue. And In partnership, we're not the only ones in the community. We got family medical counseling services, and we have HIPS. So the three organizations partner a lot to address this epidemic. And let me tell you, it is an epidemic, and we need to really call it out for what it is.
Hello, how are you guys doing today? Hello, everybody. All right. My name is Abdurrahim Briggs. I am the president and CEO of Project Briggs, and our motto is, community is our superpower. We are an organization that's based in the Great Ward 8, and our primary focus is that we partner and we work with other organizations, and we do outreach activities. We came on a little bit late in the process, but you know what? We made it happen. We launched what is called our summer community outreach engagement series. And so far we've had Heartbreak Hotel, which was discussing harm reduction and sexual relationships and whatnot, and how substance abuse can affect those relationships. Just 2 weeks ago, we had what is called the White Attire Fair Harm Reduction Mixer. That was held 2 weeks ago. And then we'll be finishing out our summer engagement outreach series with the DMV LGBT Writers Forum, which will be held this Saturday at Bus Boys and Poets here in Ward 8. Project Briggs is looking forward to expanding its program. Our current name of our outreach calendar is called the Outreach Initiative, but we're going to actually rename it to the 2023 Outreach Harm Reduction Calendar for next year. We're looking to continue our expansion, continue to partner with other organizations, and I'd just say all of these great organizations on here, I'm just so proud of each and every one of you, because we're doing the work, we're out in the streets, we're out in the community, we have the outreach and we have the impact, and you guys, I like to thank DC Engage because they clearly understand that the work has to be done with the people who are in the streets, not sitting in the offices, on the computers. You gotta meet the people where they are, so thank you.
Right. That's so awesome. My name is Danny Jackson. I work with Empowerment Enterprise 2. And just talk a little bit about the folks. We say that with love, right? That we work with. We are built of passionate people where we are, pardon, I'm a little bit nervous. I was called last minute to do this, but feet on the street, really meeting people exactly where they are, not just collecting a number, not just getting a name and then walking away, really meeting the people exactly where they are to ensure that they are cared about. There is somebody here standing in the gap for you, right? And we just want to ensure that they are going to get the assistance that they need. So whether that is, we love the harm reduction clause, because in that clause right there, it shows where you are today, we're going to meet you there. Right? And we're going to ensure that we can build a healthy plan to get you where you need to be.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Kevin Fields, and I'm the Executive Director with Father Factor Incorporated. We provide services in the District of Columbia for children, youth, and families. The premise of most of our work, what we do is we work with violence prevention. We also have our new component, which is the DC Engage funded project for harm reduction. And we provide parenting training, child support mediation, and fatherhood development work. And grief and loss, I forgot, for the past 20 years, since 2002, when we were initially incorporated. What's unique about the work we're doing as it relates to harm reduction is that we're combining this with our violence prevention services. We're currently working in 4 communities in the District of Columbia, which is funded through the Office of the Attorney General, which is called the Cure the Streets Projects. We're in historic Anacostia, which we just started a project at the same time that we was bringing on the harm reduction program. And what we noticed is that you can't go into these neighborhoods and just say, hey, we're going to do this violence work. We want to stop the shootings. That sounds wonderful on paper, but we also got to look at the issues with substance abuse. We got to look at mental health. We connected with mental health providers, but we saw some gaps where it related to the substance abuse, because where we are, especially in historic Anacostia, our office is at 1421. You can step outside the door and they just laying outside on the ground any time of the day. And so we decided that, hey, we need to get on the front line and start to fight
and get in this battle as it relates to opiate addiction and opiate overdose. And what I noticed when we looked at the numbers, twice as many people died in the past few years from opiate overdose than they did with violence and shootings in the city. It's just that it's not broadcast the same way from opiate overdose as it is for violence, you know, and I'm not taking away from the significance and the need to address violence, because that's what we're doing also. And my brothers from NARC, which is here, the pioneers in this, I got to give kudos to them, because NARC is the National Association for the Advancement of Returning Citizens, right? Okay, they were instrumental in bringing violence prevention services back to the district in 2018 or 17. We had nothing. We had nothing. Just as bad as it is for substance abuse, we had nothing. And so they're doing the same thing we're doing. They on the street combining their services, and we're noticing it's working. I mean, one day I was at their office in Trinidad, and a guy had an episode right outside. We all ran, get the Narcan. We back to the training. And we went out and we would give him a dose. And they said, maybe we give him another one. I said, no, you can't give him another. The trainer say, well, we were ready to shoot him some more. He said, I'm okay. But I'm like, hey, we just want to make sure this guy was okay, and he really was okay. But I just noticed when I watched what they were doing, I'm like, wow, we doing this on our end, and they doing this on their end. And this is what we're starting to see that makes this work. That's why we said it's unique, because we're in the neighborhood providing this service. Now we're able to provide additional service to help meet the needs of the people we service. Because a lot of the violent episodes that we're mediating, some of it comes out of the issues with substance abuse. We had a young guy get shot in the arm for $2 over a K2 argument over a stick of that stuff they wanted to smoke that was laced with fentanyl. So this is why we are here, and we realize it's very important. So I just thank you all for letting us be a part of this process. And substance abuse is our thing. This is what we like, violence prevention. We're trying to get out and change some things. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Blythe Patnode. I'm the Director of Business Development and Program Manager for Health, Education, and Wellness at the Marshall Heights Community Development Organization in Ward 7. We are really honored and pleased to be contributing to this effort. It is not something that Marshall Heights has done in its long history of 42 years, but we are delighted to bring attention to this problem, especially in our community. Marshall Heights has always had a focus on economic development, and we as former substance abuse professionals are keenly aware of the impact that substance abuse has in our workforce and in our health. One of the things that we've been doing at Marshall Heights is we've taken our outreach workers and educated our local clergy, as well as some of our other local outreach workers, for example, in the Safe Passages community, to be sure that everyone is carrying Narcan and is prepared to support people when needed. I have some stories on that. I hope I get a chance to share with you in a little bit. Our strategy has been to divide Ward 7 into working with the different ANCs. We have 5 of them, and outreach workers were tasked to cover each ANC, identify 5 businesses, 5 churches, as well as identify organizations and schools. And now as we go forward into FY23, we plan on drilling down with these organizations to be sure that they all are trained with Narcan use and have signs in their windows and are fully prepared to deal with crises as they come up. Thank you.
Hello, how you doing? I'm Walter Hilliard, here representing the Alliance of Concerned Men, partnered with DC Engage on this harm production grant. We've been around for some time now. The Alliance of Concerned Men was founded on the premises of violence intervention, interruption, and so forth, known for the troops that they brought forth in the early, late 90s between Simple City and Eastgate when they killed the young boy Durham. So this is where they really got their shining light from, stepping into those impoverished areas, man, and bringing something different. I like the Atlanta. I'm honored to be a part of the team because it's a team of people who come from that lifestyle who changed their life around. Even all the way to the founder of it was a guy who was formerly incarcerated, seen the need to come home and intervene, especially when, like myself, we played such a great part in destroying our community. It's only right we come back and give back. Since we've been engaging in this grant, I've seen a change in just a matter of 2 months. It's just the approach of how people come to us with their questions. Just seeing people that really care, that in and of itself can change people. Knowing that there are people out there that really genuinely care without any strings attached. We're bringing forth help without strings attached, with no agenda other than to fight the problem. And that's these overdoses. This overdoses is like you said, we're in a pandemic. You know, it's a crisis right now where you look and see that the majority of those who are ODing in the beginning were 85% were young black men. Young black men. I've lost 4 friends to the overdoses of fentanyl. So when I step into the community teaching them how to apply and use Narcan, it's a relief. It's a relief to be able to hear someone say, I'm glad you all are here. That was the video in the beginning. That's the video that I recorded the other day just out there. Just giving up a meal to someone can make a difference in their life. And like you said, that split moment in and of itself can prevent someone from going out doing things other than, going out doing things that's contrary to being a good person. But nonetheless, this program was very well needed. And if you can go out and talk to the people and ask them the importance of having programs like this in their community, and they'll tell you, man, because they're walking around feeling as if no one cares. And it may appear that way, as if no one cares, but there are so many programs out there that people are not abreast of, not made aware of. And that's when programs like this come into play, because that's what the Alliance does. We are like the middleman to many organizations. We're partnered with RAP. We're partnered with Dr. Powell from the Pilgrim Outreach Program. When he comes out on site, sit down and talk to the people, administer advice, show them where they can go to receive the assistance. Brenda Washington from RAP was out there with us yesterday. She talked to so many people, and I believe she possibly got like 3 people to come to her program. And so that's what it's about, literally meeting them where they at, showing them what can be done, and letting them know that there are serious help. There are serious programs out there that can really help them. So I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate all those who are genuinely out there on the ground doing the work, because one thing I learned since we've been doing this grant, consistency is key. We have 5 wards, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And within those wards, the first thing they say is, how long y'all gonna be coming out here? Because they say people come and then disappear. They come, then disappear. And this is why I believe, personally, the problems never eradicate. We never eradicate the problems because of the consistency breaks. They literally be waiting for us to come. Literally, I'm in the near future hoping that we can be allotted a day per ward, and just literally let them know that you can expect us on this day. And when we tell them that, literally, they be out there waiting. They literally be waiting for us to show up. So that lets you know that all is not lost in these communities. Again, we just literally have to put forth a consistent and earnest effort.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ronald Whaley, and I'm here with NARC. NARC is the National Association for the Advancement of Returning Citizens. So before I get into that, I just want everyone in here to give themselves a round of applause, because if you're here, then we're all here for the same reason. Okay, so with our organization is geared around returning citizens. However, also we were the first organization to have the Cure the Streets model. Cure the Streets is about reducing and stopping gun violence. So with us being able to be the first to have that model, and we're in Ward 8 and Ward 5, and over the years, with us building these relationships in these targeted areas we're in, now with this opportunity, it goes hand in hand. For myself, one of the things that for me would not to be a part of this, because one, I had someone in my own family that has battled with being in a drug abuser for many a years, and some of my own people in my family didn't want to have nothing to do with this person, which was wrong, but they really did not know, right? So to see that person now, he has been clean now for 22 years. And not only is he clean, but he's able to come out to some of our events when we're out also educating our people in our targeted areas about Narcan. He's a walking testimony. So it's all about building relationships and being credible. As just said, the key also is consistency, because I'm a firm believer that you can't do anything inside of any neighborhood community without engaging with that neighborhood, right? Because it's about building that trust. And a lot of our people have seen that over the time. Okay, here comes this group. Here comes that group. Oh, okay. So this group, they gonna come with hot dogs, hamburgers. Then what? Or, okay, this group, they gonna come with hot dog, hamburgers, and they gonna have out their phones. They just wanna take pictures. But then they're asking, then what? So for us, it's been an amazing ride because we already had that relationship. But now for us to be able to reach a different population within these areas, it just made it that much more better. And for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but some of our people who we have had to administer Narcan to have been our young people. And they're becoming younger. So that ties into the neighborhood, mental health, and what they now deem to as being cool. So it's on us with what we do as far as the gun violence intervention, and now what we doing with Narcan to help change the norm. And it's all coming together along with everyone in here to help save lives. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Can we give it up one more time for our partners? This is supposed to be a community discussion. We are taking it to the street. I'm going to ask our partners one question, then I want you to ask them some questions. I want you to tell them about your experience. This is about us. This is the People's Conference. I want to ask a couple of you, and I heard it, but a couple of things I heard I think we should take away from this. The tools of the trade. What is one of the tools of the trade? Consistency. What's the other tool of the trade? Authenticity. What's another tool of the trade? What's another tool of the trade? How much does that cost? Cost you nothing. That is incredible that you're able to do your work with those tools. There are other tools. We're not going to deny that. And I've heard this throughout this conference that food is so important in how we do our work. But they talked about so many tools that had nothing to do with work. I think we need to really think about that. And I applaud you to be able to do your work with those tools. My question to a couple of you, I'm going to ask Blythe, what have you learned about yourself during this project?
I've learned that things that I did 50 years ago when I was working with heroin addicts in New York City became a foundation for what I'm doing now. I learned that over my lifetime, I've been prepared in ways I never could have imagined to work in a ward where we're primarily working with returning citizens, and that skills have been honed over years, that I've learned that race doesn't matter. Somebody asked before about getting up in the morning and coming to work. And I learned that, I don't want to get too emotional here, I learned that race doesn't matter as long as you care. If you get up every morning and don't think about what you're doing, but do it because it's who you are, it doesn't tire you out, it won't burn you out, because you are being your best self. And I've learned that things that normally would have been in my consciousness, I just do automatically, and I love it. It gives me joy. And when people come to Marshall Heights just to get a hug from me or a hello, or because they know they can walk in the door and I will drop whatever I'm doing to come out and say hello to them, ask them how they're doing, that this is what really matters. And if that can become who we are when we reach out to people in our community, I've learned that's what works for me.
Thank you. So I'm going to take it out to the streets. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're going to take it out to the streets. Who's got a question or comment for all the things we're talking about? There's a hand over there. Oh, no. I'm sorry, no. No.
So I work with Deaf Reach. And it's great all the things that you guys have been providing to the community. But how can you make these things more accessible to the deaf community and to deaf people?
This is a great question. Did everyone hear the question? The question was, this is a great program, but how do we make it more accessible to the deaf community?
I think among the partners, we need to have a sit down and talk about serving the deaf community, and probably several of the other communities as well, of how we can approach it in a common sense way. We need to have a go-to person who speaks Spanish, maybe someone who speaks a number of other languages, and we need to make a commitment to learn how to do sign language. And I think that probably after today, we should work with Health HIV to identify at least 2 people that will reach out to the deaf community starting next week and figure out a way that we can learn more about their needs and figure out a way to address them.
Thank you. Anybody else on up here? George?
I would just add that it needs to be a partnership with us, Department of Health, and Department of Behavioral Health, because we can do, with these microgrants, we're able to do some work, but not a lot of the work. So this has to be a partnership.
And Daryl wants to answer, and then we'll take it back out to the streets.
I can appreciate the question because I actually thought about that when I realized we were coming to Gallaudet. And I thought about the fact that, I haven't seen very much of the deaf community in the work that we're talking about. And so I think that there's 2 parts to answering your questions. One, we need to know where the deaf community are so that we can also reach out and be where the deaf community members are at. and also make ourselves available so that they know where we are as well, to be able to come to the services that we offer, knowing that the services are open to them, that they're welcome. Because I think one of my best friends who is from the deaf community has often, and went to Gallaudet and all of that, would often say that he wasn't sure if he was welcomed in places. And he knew he could go, but there's a difference between knowing you can go somewhere and feeling like you're welcomed there. And so I think that relationship, we have to build a relationship with the deaf community that I think doesn't exist automatically, and it should. So, and other communities as well, but particularly that one, since you're asking the question.
I just want to say one quick thing. Far Southeast, doors are open. If you have an interpreter that you can bring with you, you're welcome to come see us. We can start it just like that. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of pushing and trying to find out who's who. Just come straight to our doors.
I saw a hand in the back.
That's against the law. You can't ask a deaf person to bring their own interpreter. That's a part of the ADA and a reasonable request for you to request an interpreter to provide services to the deaf community. That's our reality, that we're deaf and we can't bring our own interpreters.
Well, thank you for that. And that's something, and again, this is why we're here, and we're here to learn, and we're to have a conversation. So we can definitely work together and make that happen. So thank you for that comment.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Stevenson. I work with the DC Department of Health. I am a peer outreach specialist. And I just wanted to say that doing our work, we see many of the men and women from those organizations. When we out, we all do the same kind of work. And the young man even invited me to come over to his office. So I want to say to all of you organizations, keep up the good work. It's working. We're reaching people. Of course, we're not reaching as many as we can. But one of the things I'm getting ready to say apply to me and my team, as well as the other peers, the people that's doing outreach. I think that even though we're there, we're doing a good job, we're trying to meet the needs of the community, we as individuals have to continue to develop our skill set. And what I mean by that is just my suggestion that all of us need to be versed in motivational interviewing, cognitive behavior therapy, situational awareness, all the things that will keep us safe and the community safe. So I suggest that everybody here that we promote continued training and education of the people on the front line. Thank you.
There's a hand, Corey, up front, and
Young lady right
oh,
there.
sorry, I'm sorry.
So I would like to share something that I've recognized. With your group, most of you on stage right now are men, and most socialized services that are around are provided by women. So I really appreciate seeing so many men right now that are representing social services. So I just wanted to shout you guys out, and it's wonderful to see.
Thank you. And many of you I know, some of you I do not know. And what I would say is decriminalize poverty. I'll say it again, decriminalize poverty. Destigmatize sexual orientation. Destigmatize substance use. Destigmatize, decriminalize. I work in Ward 7, work in Ward 8. I just learned, and you asked a question earlier about what are you here to learn. Stephanie said she's here to learn. I'm here to learn because if I learn, it empowers me to help somebody else. And I learned, and did not know this, that DC has the highest all drug mortality rate in the U.S. It ain't just opioids, cocaine, other drugs. DC has the highest all drug mortality rate in the U.S. Now, some of the other things in the work that I do, when I say decriminalize poverty, what does that even mean? In Ward 7 and Ward 8, the median family income has not gone up more than $4,000 in 20 years. 20 years. You can look at the Annie E. Casey Foundation Kids Count data book, and you can research it yourself, because I did. No more than $4,000 in 20 years. If you don't have incomes, if you don't have jobs, we haven't gone back to pre-COVID level unemployment. Not in Ward 7, not in Ward 8. There's still, unemployment is still higher than it was before COVID. If we have a 47% rate of illiteracy. 47% of east of the river residents cannot read past first grade. So the work that you do is important. And I would just charge you with one thing. In addition to your work that you already do, raise the banner to end poverty. Raise the banner to decriminalize poverty. When we talk about hunger, I met you, I remember where I met you at. I met you at the IHOP, okay, with Reverend Motley. When I've done work with Cure the Streets and with Violence Interrupters, the discussion about who they talk to on the street is about the hunger that exists amongst young people, young brothers, young sisters. Hunger. Hunger. If we decriminalize poverty, we decriminalize hunger. For those that don't know, because I'm a health advocate, for those that don't know, children who grow up in hunger are 3 times more likely to commit an act of violence as an adult. And we have hunger in our communities. So if there's any one other thing that you do other than the work that you already do, raise your voice to end poverty, to end hunger, to bring jobs, to raise incomes. Brother right here said that he's a peer outreach specialist. I do work in the opioid space. Those that know. If you don't know, it's okay. We brought together at least 40 different organizations. We have an opioid overdose awareness day event on August 31st, next Wednesday, at the Arc Black Box Theater at 5:30. And we have 15 different organizations that we partnered with to be there. And we are listening to the voices of those that are in recovery, because those voices are not often heard. The voices in recovery. But in addition to that, the city does not pay the work that he does at a salary rate. They don't have enough peer specialists. They don't have enough recovery coaches to do the work in the recovery space and in the opioid space that we need. Decriminalize poverty. Raise your voice for that. And that's all I have to say.
We are getting ready to wrap this session up. I know Corey's going over to one more person. The plenary session is due to end at 1:30. I'm going to get this comment. I want to say thank you for the comment. We're also going to bring it back here. They get one word, and then we're going to wrap up our plenary session. But so far, thank you for your honest and very important comments.
Good afternoon. Yeah, see, no glasses, that's what happens. Good afternoon. I really raised my hand to say 2 things. One, thank you so much for bringing the community from the hopeless state to the hopeful, because that's what I see all of us doing here today. As you said, this is not a political event, but we want to be, empowered on how to engage people and to promote our message in a positive way so that we can, interact in that way. And I wanted to say that. Secondly, I know that I personally worked with Ms. May with Deaf Reach, and DC government did a phenomenal job during COVID. They reached out, people reached back, we did the PPE, but what has to happen is just like the young man said, one person at a time. He may have phrased it a little differently, but your idea was right. We have to reach out together. We need to cut out all the red tape and just knock on the door like we used to and say, can I borrow a cup of sugar? We can be our brothers and sisters' keepers. And that's really what this symposium is all about. How can we engage each other? Not wait for Congress, not wait for the mayor, not wait for all. We know what we need in our community. I've been in this field for 28 years. When people see me, they don't have to call me what my educational title is. They see the work. People believe in you when they perceive that you believe in them. And it's not what you say, it's what you do. And people believe that more than anything else. So I just want you all to know that we see you, we applaud you, we appreciate you. We're going to be looking for you tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow because we all need each other. That's all I have.
I'm going to ask our grantees to wrap up this with one word. Leave us with a one word about your work, your ideas, just one word. Just leave us with one word.
I don't think I can leave it one word, but I can leave with a quote.
Try. You got it.
A quick quote. Public service isn't just a job, it's a calling. It's hard work. It's largely unsung. The work matters to me because it's something to make our community better. In fact, it means everything.
Intentional listening.
Purpose.
Compassion and inspiration.
Consistency.
Tenacious and commit to Nannie Hallowborough's motto, we achieve the wholly impossible.
I have one thing. So I have a word and a quote. The word is commitment, and the quote is, there is no I in team, but there's an I in win, and together we can all team.
Fulfillment.
Agile. You see something, say something, do something.
I have a word for our partners, our micro-grantees, our friends. 2 words. Thank you. Thank you so much. This will conclude our lunch plenary. Our next session starts in about 15 minutes. I want to encourage you to do a couple of things. They're going to be here all day. They have tables out here. Please go to the exhibit booths and talk with them. Also, make sure you take pictures out there with the signs to make sure that you say you were here. Also, visit us on social media, hashtag DC Engage 2022. Thank you, and I will see you in your next session. And if you need something, our Health HIV staff is around to support you and help you with anything you need. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you back in here for our closing plenary. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.